What is going on, everybody? I am back today to talk about another new release film, and this film came out relatively recently. It came out on like a Monday or a Tuesday. It was a weird release day, but it was a movie that after seeing the initial trailer, I was excited because of the visual style and the animation. I wasn't 100% sure whether or not I was going to love this, but I was hoping I would enjoy it because as a kid, I loved the Ninja Turtles. My brother and I loved playing the games, watching the cartoon, watching the live action movies, and I was excited to watch this because it looked really charming and fun from the trailer. And so the movie I'm going to be talking about today is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem is directed by Jeff Rowe. After years of being sheltered from the human world, the Turtle brothers set out to win the hearts of New Yorkers and be accepted as normal teenagers through heroic acts. Their new friend April O'Neil helps them take on a mysterious crime syndicate. They soon get in over their heads when an army of mutants is unleashed upon them. So, I didn't know what to expect other than the animation was gorgeous from the trailer. I was really looking forward to watching this, and this movie was an absolute blast. I absolutely loved this movie. I thought it was incredibly charming. I thought that it did exactly what a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie should do, which is provide a lot of laughs, have some great action set pieces, and really just provide an enjoyable experience. And I'll talk a little bit more about it in the review. So as the plot description states, we get our introduction into how the Turtles were made and how the villain of the film was made through these set pieces at the beginning of the film. The Turtles are living in the sewer with Splinter. He does not want them to go interact with the human world because of experiences that he had with humans, and they're obviously reluctant about that. They want to go out, they want to be a part of the world because they're curious about the world. And through a certain set of circumstances, they're introduced to April O'Neil. She's a teenager with an aspiration for journalism, and she tells them about these strings of robberies that are happening where these pieces of equipment are being stolen. Film as the Turtles are trying to get close to this villain, Superfly, who is collecting all of these pieces of equipment for some reason. And the entire movie is them trying to hide it from Splinter, figure out what this villain is trying to accomplish, and the movie plays out from there. So like I said, I really enjoyed this movie a lot, and I think a big part of that is due to the four actors that play the Turtles. Their chemistry is absolutely incredible, and what I loved about this movie, they feel like teenagers. I talk about this in a lot of movies, but when you watch films that are about high schoolers, especially live action films, when the people cast to play high schoolers are like 20-year-olds, it feels incredibly unnatural and it doesn't feel realistic. All of the conversations that these kids have with one another feel like teenagers. They're very funny. There's a lot of pop culture references in their discussions. They poke fun at each other subtly. There's a lot of incorporation of like meme culture into the film, and I think that is so important to capture the true essence of what teenagers are like nowadays. And I think they do a perfect job. I watched some interviews with Seth Rogen, who produced this film as well as starred in it, and he was talking about how they wanted the chemistry between the Turtles to feel very natural. So the guys who voiced them all did it together in a room so that they could kind of play off each other with the dialogue. A lot of the dialogue sequences were unscripted. They were just coming up with things off the cuff. And I think for a majority of the film, it really works well, and you need that. Make the chemistry between those characters feel realistic. The rest of the voice acting in this is really great. I was surprised to see the stacked star-studded cast that was incorporated into this film. I think that they all do a really great job at providing humor and providing some interesting character traits for each one of these mutant characters especially, and they all do a really great job. And then obviously can't talk about this movie without talking about the really fantastic animation. Obviously coming out the same year with a film like Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse is pushing the boundaries as to what the animation medium can be, and this movie has some moments where it's just truly remarkable to look at. It feels like a piece of comic book art coming to life the entire time that you're watching the movie, and there's so many little pieces of detail that you can just see how much time and effort and energy was put into each individual frame. And I love animated films that look unique and that provide something new to the medium, because even a company like Disney, who puts out some really phenomenal animated films, they have become very stale lately, where their animation style just feels more of the same consistently, and it just feels so recycled. And I saw the trailer for Wish again tonight, and as much as I hope that that film film is entertaining. You're watching that trailer and the animation just feels like more of what we've seen before, which is unfortunate because you'd think an animation studio would try to push the boundaries of what they can do, and they're just kind of falling into a groove. So having something like Mutant Mayhem is really refreshing to see an animation studio take a property that people really love, but do something new with it, create something different with it. I really like the emotional dynamics that are built up in this. Obviously, you have Splinter's relationship with his kids. You have the relationship between the Turtles and the outside world, feeling like outcasts, never feeling like you're going to belong, being hated just because you're different. And there's things that I feel like kids will watch this movie, and there's a lot of important elements that they'll pick up from it. If I have any issues with this movie, I would say the third act doesn't really live up to the rest of the movie. It really wraps things up speedily towards the end, where I just feel like you went from one set piece to the next, and it's like, okay, we need to get to the finish line. But instead of really focusing on one thing, they're kind of jumping all over the place to where it doesn't necessarily land as well as I think that they would like it to. But I still had such an enjoyable experience watching the entire movie that even the clunkiness of the third act delivery doesn't take away from the smile on my face I had through most of the runtime, and just how enjoyable the chemistry between those characters are. And sometimes even if the script in the third act doesn't provide that intense level of punch that you're looking for, that chemistry and that comedy and even the relationship dynamics between them can just kind of overshadow that. And I think that that's the most important part of this movie, is just how great those performances are, how beautiful the animation is. The soundtrack in this was really great. I love a lot of the incorporation of popular music, but also the Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross score was really great and accompanied the movie really well. And yeah, I just thought this was a lot of fun, and I'm really gonna look forward to revisiting this at some point. It was an absolute blast and really took me by surprise. Have you seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was an absolute blast. I didn't know what to expect when I went in to watch it, and I was absolutely blown away. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.